Hey guys, Romie here. Shout out to BET. BET definitely did their thing with the new edition story. This is part one, my little recap for it. And I have to give it up to them because even though I knew it would be good, I didn't think that it was going to be this great. I thought it was going to be cool. I thought it was going to be good. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I don't really know their story, like their real story, because I didn't live through it. So let me go and watch this. Just to be nice. No, but and the BET, I think that they went and told Viacom, look, do you got us? Oh, you got us? Oh, so we can do anything? So you're giving us MTV money because the BET Awards had higher ratings? Oh, okay. There we go. I noticed their new programming that they're going to have soon, which is what we've been asking for. So, again, shout out to them. I see what they're trying to do. So, the special starts off with they're in their present day, so to speak, and Bobby Brown's on the stage performing. He's killing it, but he's going over his set, and everyone's getting very irked and irritated. So they decide for themselves, you know what? Let's go out there and start performing too, because two can play that game. Billy DeVoe decided, let's go out, let's perform. They start as well. They stop Bobby. Bobby, he's so irked and irritated that he actually goes and gets. He goes and is a yes man. Is pretty much just like, yo, Bobby, you gonna let us poke you like that? You gonna let him poke you like that? What are you gonna do? Bobby goes, gets the fire hose. I'm thinking, are you kidding me? And he aims it. Oh, no water was coming out. So then he was like, okay, screw this. His crew decided, you know what, let's storm the stage. Ronnie's crew said, no, you're not going to go do that to us. There was a huge brawl. And this was, you know, in front of everyone. This did happen. I believe it happened in 1996, if I'm not mistaken. A huge brawl, and a gunshot was fired. I don't remember if someone got hit. All I do know is that a gunshot was fired, and that's when it was like, oh, okay, well, now we're showing you a little bit too much. So let's go rewind how it all began. And it goes back, and first off, BET, the credits, the introductory credits. I'm looking like this, like this is nice. This is nice. This is nice. And it starts off with Ricky. Ricky's at home. He has a lot of people living in his house. He goes and he asks his mom, oh, can I go hang out? Hang out with who? Michael? No, he's with people that drinking and drugging. No! So he goes and sneaks out anyway. He sneaks out. Michael's playing basketball. So Ricky and Mike, they go to Bobby. Bobby is a part of this talent show. Now the thing is that the Bobby Brown that we know, the Bobby Brown we thought never existed, had stage fright. He had stage fright, and he was so afraid that he ran off of the stage and ran to his mom. And I'm thinking, dang, the crowd didn't have to do him like that badly. Not that badly, but the next day they're at school, and you know, they let his boys, you know, they're trying to pretend to be cool. So Mike and Ricky are trying to be cool and coy. It's like, oh yeah, so how'd it go? He's like, oh no, I killed it. I put the moves on the. They said we were there, sucker fool. We saw you bomb it. We saw you. Stop playing us. And then that's when he said, you know what? Why don't we all go and do this together? What do you mean? Yeah, why don't we all do this together? Well, we're not really a group. It's only 3 people. So we can get one more person. Let's ask Ralph. And that's their plan. Ralph himself, he's more so like a kung fu fighter esque. That's more so what his interest is. Wusa, meditation, and all that. And so they go and they ask him. He's not really feeling it. He's not necessarily saying no, but he's almost feels like he's trying to give them I was doing something I actually wanted to do, like karate. Next thing we know, we see this girl that he's eyeing. He's eyeing her. He's looking at her like, look at her. I believe it was it Bobby that went over and said, Oh, so you like her? You like her? Oh, you're not gonna go and talk to her? So I'm gonna do it myself. And he starts singing. I think it was Bobby. It was either Bobby or Ricky. One of them goes over there, starts singing, and then Ralph comes in, and I'm like, okay, there's the star. There's the star right there. We see it, and they're practicing at home. And was it Bobby's sister? It was someone's sister who was encouraging them. You know what? You have to be crisp. You have to do this. You have to do that. If you want it, sidebar, the sister was played by Frida Gatz, a.k.a. Breezy. Is that her name? Breezy? I believe so. Yeah, from Empire. And with the finger waves and all. And it was just so odd. Look at this, like, wait, what? And she fit so perfectly into this role. Laid back, chill, supportive. Because I believe the brother was just like, no, y'all can't do this. Y'all aren't a real group. She said, no, here's what you need to do. You need to talk with Brooke. You need to go and get with a real manager. You need to go and see if you can go and get Brooke. So that's what they go and venture off to do. They find out where Brooke is. They go and find him. Brooke is coming out of this club. Mind you, he has this look of, I'm about to go and get some from this woman. What are you kids doing here? And the kids were relentless. They were relentless. He was like, get off the car. No. Brooke had a very, chill demeanor. Get off the car. Yo. Get off the car. Get off the car. Okay, back up. So then they all line up in front of the car, and they start dancing, and they start singing. And of course, a Jackson 5 song. And he sees the girl next to him is vibing. It's like, I can do something with them. Oh, so you guys, you aren't signed or anything, right? Of course not. Can you guys meet me at the rec center? Yeah. Alright, so then he starts to go and train them. He's technically their manager, if you will. And he grooms them. I mean, he was not playing around. His goal was to make sure that they were ready, that they were primed up, juiced up. And he said, it's really important because if you want a record deal, here's what you have to do. He had them doing exercises, doing push-ups, doing endurance tests. Every endurance test, also them dancing together, learning their spacing, know their area on the stage or in their general area and perimeter to make sure that they were crisp, make sure that they acted appropriately. I mean, I really like Brooke. And I'm thinking, gosh, if he just had a machine behind him, imagine what... Because I feel like things wouldn't have gone as left if Brooke was still there. Like, I understand people kind of look at him because of what happened. So they're at this big talent show, and Star, he owns a record label of sorts. I'm calling him Star. And Star is this big black man with a dry Jerry curl / ponytail. I said, you know what? I'm done. I am done. They're doing too much. Now, during the performance, they were killing it. They were killing it, and Bobby Brown was already kind of showing that he had that extra charisma and spice to want to take the lead. So, because from the jump, Bobby in the back of his mind is thinking, I'm going to sing most of the songs or do most of everything, get most of the attention, and my buddies, they'll be there with me, and they'll be cool and copacetic. It didn't go that way. It was, during this performance, it was really a mix between Bobby and Ralph. And Ralph, from a commercial standpoint, he's easier to market and sell to the masses. And it was weird watching the ladies go off for these kids. I'm thinking, now you ladies have to be all of some type of teenager / possibly already out of high school. And yet you are going off for these kids. I'm thinking, Lord, it's disgusting. That's not disgusting, but it's disgusting to think, what would they have done if those kids really wanted to... Anyway. Now, guess who wins? It's not them. Who wins are this rap duo, and the audience was like, boo! 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 So then Star comes out and says, you know what? I need to keep the peace. Right is right. So here's how this is going to go. Everyone's getting a contract. And when I say everyone, I mean them. New Edition as well. And the reason why they're called New Edition is because people are going to look at them and think, okay, are they just supposed to be a replication of the Jackson 5 or other groups before them? no, they're supposed to be the new edition on the cutting edge, something different. So I'm thinking, gosh, Brooke, man, y'all got rid of. I understand. Like, I would have just anyway. I'm jumping too far ahead. They go and they get the chance to be in the recording studio with this guy. Now, this hurt me. This hurt me really bad because Star is selling them this pipe dream. He's selling this pipe dream of, here it is to be in the recording studio. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to act. They're fighting, you know, with each other. What was it, Bobby and Ricky? Or was it Bobby and Ricky that were fighting? I don't know. It could have been Bobby and Ricky. It could have been Bobby and Mike. It's Bobby and someone. Anyway. Ralph goes in the studio and he starts to sing. And he nails it from the jump. I mean, this first time in the studio. And a lot of people who've never recorded in the studio, including myself, but they say that it's different because there's certain timing, key changes. It's just very different from you just singing, like right now, out of the blue. And because of that, there's usually a learning curve. There was no learning curve for him, and his voice, I guess, kind of gave off Michael-esque. Not like it sounded like Michael, but it was high and, you know, like I said, he's very marketable. Ralph, like a mild manner, handsome kid. So white America would love it. Mainstream America would love him. And Star has this look in his eye like, I know who I really need to go and poach. I know who I really need to go and poach. He goes and he talks to Michael in private. Well, he's talks with his mom, but he just tries to go because he goes there to his house because his whole thought process is, I'm going to steal. Did I say Michael? Ralph. Star is going to go and try to steal Ralph. And he's trying to convince Ralph, you know, you're a star, you have that it factor, and I want you. I want you. It's like, what about the guys? What about the guys? You don't know any loyalty or allegiance to them, so what about them? And, of course, Ralph has to think about it because those are his friends, those are his buddies, those are people that he thought that he would do this with. That was the whole point of the group being formed. If it wasn't for them, he wouldn't have been a part of it. He would have never even tried to pursue singing, possibly. And what ends up happening is Ralph and his sister go and they save their money to get this Christmas tree and try to decorate it for their mom. Their mom was so hurt because she was like, I couldn't do for my kids the bare minimum. And so then, even though she loved and appreciated the fact that they did that, the fact that she couldn't afford to do that because she's trying to keep the roof over their heads and all that. And the mom, Ralph's mom looked stressed. She looked like life hit her with a ton of bricks. And I felt so bad. I'm like, dang. So I'm thinking, oh no, Ralph. Oh no, no. Don't do it, Ralph. He goes and he calls up Star because Ralph doesn't have a phone in his house. So he goes. It's cold outside. He calls up Star and tells him he's in, but only if his friends are in. It's an all or nothing deal. So Star's just like, okay, I just wanted Michael, but I guess we have to do the Jackson's 5 things for a certain period of time. I guess I'll just go along with that. Anyway. Now Star has the contracts for everyone, and it's time to sell. I mean, it's time for them to sign. He says, you know what? You get a signing bonus of $500 and a new, what was it? Colectio? Whatever. It was a bike. It was a motorized bike. I'm looking at this like, so, like 500, and and you're going to be making okay. Oh yeah, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already done so. I was over it. Mike, he left for a moment because he felt like everything was moving too fast. His mom talked to him. He was just like, you know, I want to pursue basketball. Singing's cool, but I don't really know about this. Mike's mom was like, no, you're getting up there and you're signed because you're not a quitter. You're looking at this as another opportunity. You can go and make your dreams. People said that you were too short to play basketball. You were playing with the big guys. Now I need you to go and do this because this will make you a whole lot of money. This will take us out of the hood. Trust and believe. This will be amazing. This will be amazing for you guys. And one day they were coming out of school and their song was on the radio. and they were just jumping for joy. Everyone was excited for them, and I'm thinking that was a great time. Now, this was, of course, during the Candy Girl era, and it was interesting. During the photo shoot, Ralph and Mike were the ones standing next to the lady and smiling, and then I guess, not as handsome / darker people were to the far outer left and far outer right. I'm looking at this like, what? What was that? What was that? So you're really gonna do them like, so you're really gonna do them like, I was over that. I was really over that. Now they're going to perform. Wait, hold on. Did I miss something? I feel like I missed something. Did I miss them going and already having all 5 of them there, or did that not happen yet? Let's see. Let's do a count off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yes. So I did skip over something. How Ronnie got into the group. Ronnie is what's his name? Brooke? Yeah, is Brooke's nephew, and so he was like, I have the perfect person, because Star said, you're not really a group, you need 5 people. So that's when Brooke said, I have just the person. He decides, he goes and he calls on his nephew. His nephew's been practicing. Now Ronnie's little brother, I was like, Ronnie, just sock him once. I mean, he's like, oh, you suck. Oh, you're trash. Oh, you can't dance. You can't sing. They don't want you. They don't need you. You're not anything. I'm like, how is he born a hater? How is he born a hater? That was pure hateration. I was astonished. I'm thinking, the mother needs to come and get that boy, because that boy is no good already. And Ronnie was not doing a dance off, but was dancing in sync with the other guys already when he was brought in. So it was a quick turnaround. So now they have 5 people, and now it's time for them to have a really big show. For some reason, Madonna was also in the same venue. I'm thinking, Material Girl, Madonna was in. Wow, they got that big that quickly. And there was this MC there who, sorry, I forgot his name, and I know he's big, huge, but he was there, and he was over it because he wasn't top billing. He had to go and be the opening act for some kids group called New Edition. He gave them the coldest shoulder, like, because they were like, can I get an autograph? And it's like, can you get out of my face? Like, what? They just kissed. It's show business. You know how it is. And he's watching hate as they perform, and the ladies are going crazy over these kids. And I'm thinking, that's a nightclub. What are these kids doing in a nightclub? These kids should not be in a nightclub. But their songs kept charting. Things kept getting better and improving, except for their lives back home, because they're all looking at the situation like, wait a minute, how are we not making any money? How are the kids still going to school, not having food in their stomachs? And Brooks is like, don't worry about it. You need to talk with the accountants, talk with the other holding company. That's not my job. I just make sure your kids are good. That's all my job is. Now, while this was happening, they were on tour, and they were going all around Europe, I think. And so while that happened, they got older. So I almost said Disney, because it almost felt like a Disney animation, but in a really good way. Because it was just so funny how you just saw them grow up in front of our eyes. And I thought, oh my gosh, that transition was amazing. BT, you really did. BT, you really did a good job. It is odd because they have to come back home to the hood. They thought that doing this would get them out of the hood, but that's not the case. Why is it not the case? Because they didn't make any real money. any real money. They made $1.87 to split between the 5 of them. When I tell you their mothers were ready to kill Brooke, and I'm thinking, but I was thinking, you know what? Even though Brooke was their general manager, these artists have multiple managers, and he wasn't handling the finances. You know, they had a meeting and they fired Brooke. They fired Brooke because they felt, well, a majority. Of course, his sister didn't, but his sister was riding for him. She was saying, and Brooke was saying, I invested my blood, sweat, and tears into these guys. I made sure, even when they were becoming big, I was still spending money on them. That was never recouped. I'm still here as well, and I'm thinking, Star's here as well. Star's still in the hood. Star doesn't look like he's doing too well for himself. He's eating well, but I don't know. But then again, he could be a spender. He could have been a drug abuser. Who knows? Who knows? All I know is that he was the thief. Brooke got the blame because he was seen as a manager, even though he was taking care of the boys, making sure they didn't get in any trouble, making sure that they were at school, making sure that everything was good with them and that they were ready to perform. That was his main purpose. So I'm thinking he probably should have just been demoted or switched over to the tour manager instead of the main manager, and they over time brought in someone else. They went on a European tour without sponsorship. As far as this is being painted, what sponsors? It doesn't matter what you do. If you don't have sponsors paying for either the venues that you're in, because you do have to pay for that as well, either the venues or the marketing or the clothes or the sound people, the engineer, everyone that you have to take on tour with you, you'll lose money. That's just the name of the game. So when I'm looking at him and I'm seeing how they're reacting to him, like, come on, don't do this to him. Don't do this to him. Just change, you know, it's not his fault. I don't think that he's a thief. And I think he's actually their manager, you know, today, like still today. So that's why I'm wondering, I don't think it was really his fault. Clearly he wasn't equipped to handle all the extra stuff that was going on. So they should have brought in other people to manage the money so that they could have had sponsors. They could have. Are you kidding me? 5 black kids that can sing and dance. You can't tell me that that's not marketable. You can't tell me, because they're trying to initially follow in the footsteps of the Jackson 5. So you can't tell me that that wasn't marketable at that time. They bring in the White Hope. That's what I'm calling him. What was his name? Kenny? I think it was supposed to be Kenny or Larry. Maybe it was Larry. Either, see how little I care. They bring in this new person and he's selling them a dream. He's saying how, you know, it's a shame what happened to them, and here's how this is going to go. I think Bobby's mom was the main person who kind of put a fire under all these people. Like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need this handled, we need that handled. And you need someone like that in the group. So I will give her that. You definitely need someone like that in the group. What ends up happening is they hired this new guy, and he promises that he has a connection. He'll get them a real record deal. He'll get them out of the deal with Star. The deal with Brooke is already pretty much broken and dissolved. So it's just the deal out of Star, bring them over to MCA, and life will be good. They'll actually have sponsorship. They'll have food in their stomachs. They'll be able to move from where they are. And he's just there. He is their savior. That's how he's really painting himself, and it's irritating me. Because I know, I'm thinking, you are a crook. I know you're a crook. I know you're a crook. So it's the day of, he's going to bring them to MCA, and he's telling them, here's what you need to do. You need to go and, you need to go and sing. You need to go and sing? Yeah, you need to go and sing. Why? Because it's basically like showing off your chops, being a show pony, you know, all of that. And when they went through that office singing, the manager had this look, the boss had the look of, oh, so this is our new people? Because, I mean, they're definitely coming off as where I guess they came from, a little rough around the edges, and not media trained. Definitely not professional. And this guy, clearly, who's played by Tank, has this look of utter disgust, like, what did you bring me? Why are they here? I was expecting something different. These aren't superstars. These are hood rats. That's essentially what he said without saying it, because he brought their new manager into a meeting and said, okay, so you got me to pay, what was it, $1 million or $5 million for them, and I'm not seeing myself making any money back. He said, look, they are huge, they have a huge hit, so we can work with them. We can work with them, and especially Ralph. I already see coming up and, oh god, they're gonna go and try to spin off Ralph again. They're gonna try and go and spin off Ralph again. Now, why was it that they were, when the manager comes to speak to them, they were all having sex in the same room, and I'm thinking, that's disgusting. I never understood that concept. Why would you want to go and have sex around all those other... That was... No. Not, the smells... No! No, that's nasty. No. No. Now, because of that, she's just like, okay, here's your new security people. They're like, oh, we can boss them around. No. We are not your assistants. You can't boss us around. Now, it gets really interesting because there's already a divide. They're already trying to pitch Ralph into this Michael Jackson-esque type of vibe and energy, and the leader of the group, and again singing all the songs. And it's apparent that Ralph is kind of slowly getting pushed out to the front, as he's always been, and the rest have been kind of in the back. Even in the studio, they have him singing all the songs. They're like, oh, we're basically here just watching him sing the song, so we're basically like the Jackson 5. And they're like, you know, like Tito, and who was it? Like Tito and another one. They're like, no, we're more like Randy. Like, why would you... That's so messed up. Might be accurate, but it's so messed up. So that was pretty much part 1. Part 2 comes on tonight, so I will be reviewing that as well. This is really good. Really, really good.